Welcome back to TCC Cars. I'm Brian.
I'm Craig.
And we have got this week something that's been requested by people in my personal life. The Land Rover, sorry, well, that's not right. The Range Rover Evoque. And
Well, it's a Land Rover.
Well, it's a Land Rover Range Rover. So let's get into...
It's a lot of Rovers.
It's a lot of Rovers. Actually, this one's technically a Range Rover. It's not actually under the Land Rover moniker. It's Range Rover.
It says Land Rover right on the front.
It says Range Rover on the front.
It says Land Rover right on the front.
On the grill. But if you go to the Land Rover website, this isn't there. It's on the Range Rover website. Yeah, so I'm getting that. So there's a split. 2025 Range Rover Evoque Dynamic SE. It's in Elgar Gray, which I call stealth gray because this thing disappears in cement environments. The interior is cloud over ebony, which is quite a nice place to spend time. A lot of things going on, some options, not as many as you would think. And it comes out to a whopping $61,765, which is a lot of money for something this size. Let's, real quick before we get into it, Craig, let's talk competition. You've got the Infiniti QX55, which is a little cheaper, but not as much cheaper as you would think.
Recently had. Check out our review on that one.
We have. BMW X1, what does that cost?
About the same.
About the same?
Audi Q3. Yep.
Which is cheaper than this.
Yes, definitely cheaper.
But
unless you get like the SQ3 and all that, you know, but just Q3.
Fair. Yeah. And this is an SQ3 category. This is just kind of not that fast.
We get one engine in this. That's it.
You get one. That's all it is.
Yep.
Unfortunately for this, and we'll talk about this at the end, there's some Japanese competition that we'll come back on. I think that might be the biggest problem for this. But the biggest benefit, Craig, is that the looks. This nose came out, and this is the second generation. The first generation was out in, I think, 2011 or so. Top Gear did a great piece on it with Richard Hammond. They off-roaded this thing, actually worked pretty well. We're into the second generation now. But this nose has evolved from here to the Discovery 5. The same guy that designed this nose, with the consulting of Posh Spice herself, Beckham's wife, on the entire style, has gone from here to the Discovery 5, and the same guy has now done the Defender, which are all great looking cars. This is too. Something else I want to point out, Craig, is go to that side and show them the roof line. You've got a roof that slopes down from the A pillar down to the C, and a floating pillar. So these pillars are blacked out, which has become a trend you've seen on all kinds of cars now. Nissan GTR, the Juke, a bunch of other cars have done it. It started here. This is the first one I saw with the floating roof design. Pretty cool. The nose, we kind of covered that. Not a lot of fanfare there. Coming around to the side, let's talk wheels and tires. You've got more radiuses that dip into the hood. I mean, they're just not wasting sheet metal here. They're doing things with it. 19-inch wheels, which somehow still look kind of small. I think the reason why is because they're just blacked out. They kind of disappear. That's really all it is. They're not small though. They're 19s. They're big for this size of the car because this is not a big car. I do want to point out they're Pirelli Scorpions and they are JLR Scorpions. There's actually a JLR, Jag Land Rover on the side. 235, 55, 19s, quiet, smooth, comfortable, nothing to complain about. Coming down the side, you've got the flat black treatment continuing, pillars. You've got this embossed emblem here. And then you've got a stripe down here into the door itself. I do want to point out though, this door handle is cool. This is where your money comes in. At 61 grand, you need something to wow you. This is it. That's pretty cool. But they got you backed up too though, Craig. Look over here. There's a backup keyhole to get in case something breaks. You pull this out and you have access to it. Pretty neat. I like that a lot. Coming on down, kind of the same stuff, same wheels. And now let's look at the rear three-quarter, which I think is the best look of this car is because it looks just menacing. I'm down with it. You've got this band in the middle, which a lot of different brands are doing now. Dimensional letters on the side. And the taillights kind of wrap the corner and it looks really good. You do have some reflectors down here. And a diffuser, Craig.
Because it goes so fast.
Because it goes so fast. I don't know about that. Let's see what it sounds like. Okay, 2 liters of Fury from the inside. What did it sound like out here?
Is that a Fiat Multi-Air?
Okay, let's go to the front. All right, popping under the hood, Craig. Let's see what we've got going on in terms of power. Ooh, interesting mechanism. Look how the hood like kind of goes forward and arcs up.
Because it overlaps.
Exactly. Yeah, they've got it figured out. Okay. And you've got a bunch of cowling, which makes sense because this is quite a quiet vehicle on the highway. It's
very
NVH
quiet.
Is very, very good. Wow, that's a big motor mount. Look at that dog bone up here. That is huge. Impressive. So this is not, Craig, like I thought initially, this is not a Ford-derived MVR EcoBoost. This is the Land Rover Ingenium platform, which is a modular platform for their modern motors. It is designed to work as a 3, 4, or 6-cylinder platform in half-liter increments per cylinder. So this is a 2-liter variant, the 4-cylinder. The 6-cylinder version of this platform is in the Defender, and it's real fast. We've driven that a lot. Great platform. This is equally as smooth and refined. 246 horsepower, 295 pounds of torque, and it's paired to a all-wheel drive and 9-speed ZF automatic transmission. What do you think, Craig? We'll talk about the drive point?
Yes.
Okay, that's pretty much that. Let's check out the interior with Craig.
Let's check out the interior of the 25 Range Rover Evoque. And this is the most important, Brian. You mentioned it earlier, but
yeah,
this is like the Gucci on the bag, you know.
Oh, okay,
so
okay.
You want this. In fact, maybe just get a cheaper car and put this on there. That might solve your problem.
Well, we've seen that before.
That's true. All right, let's get in here. Powered liftgate, of course, because $60,000, that's what you get.
It better be.
Plenty of room for camera bags and cameras and GoPros. There's that. You get a charger back here for smoking.
Okay.
You also get a first aid kit back here, which is actually quite nice.
That's
you can also just Velcro there and put more
Nice.
storage there. Let's see what we got underneath. Do we have a spare?
Oh, wait. Oh, we do.
Yeah, we got a spare. We got a real spare. That's
and more formats.
And more formats. That's nice.
Well,
and
look, the spare actually says Land Rover on the spare.
It's a Land Rover tire.
Wow.
Nice.
I know they made tires.
Okay, Brian, but really cool. Let's take this off. I want to fold the back seats down. We haven't done this. We're doing it live. You can see how easy this is or hard this is.
Good test.
Okay, we got that
Okay,
out.
well, it does work. Okay.
Okay, we get that out. Brian, look at this. 1, 2, 3.
Whoa, it's like my LR3.
Why is Land Rover the only car company on the planet that can figure out that you want them to split it in 3s instead of just 2?
If you have skis,
because you may just want just the middle one down for skis or whatever. Who knows what? Although it doesn't go down. Anyways,
okay.
And then you want to maybe just this one down because you got who knows what you're carrying. That's nice. And then we can put the third one down for all of them. All right, Brian, we got the seats down. Ish. They don't really fold flat, but this is not really an Overlander. So let's move to the second row and see how the seating space is.
Sounds good.
All right, Brian, let's check out the rear seat. Brian, let's start with the door. Nice and padded. I like that. They're actually really good premium materials all the way throughout this car. Door pull, you cannot put your phone there. It would probably fall. Well, you might be able to, but it might fall. It kind of works, kind of half pass.
Half pass.
And then you get a nice bottle holder down there for your bougie bottle. Let's sit down. And Brian, this may be the biggest problem with this car. Let's find out. Because this sloping roofline.
Well, even before that, look at your legroom.
Well, I'm sitting behind you.
Okay.
To be fair, so I'm sitting behind someone 6'4", and I got to move my head a lot to get in. And I'm not very tall. And it does actually, I do actually fit. That's better.
It cuts in a lot.
It does cut in, so that helps a lot. And I got a mat pocket here, mat pocket there. Got rear AC vents and rear heated seats. And Brian, I have a armrest for it with more cup holders. And I've got headroom, but I'm 5'9". Brian, this might be better than I thought.
Well, fingers crossed. I'm going to get behind your seating position, which is actually in your room's okay. You know, if I stay in the sunroof opening, hold on. Let's be fair about this. The roof is hitting the side of my cranium right here, but if I keep myself in the fabric of the sunroof, it's actually doable in a pinch. Okay,
I'm going to say half pass again in the back, kind of like the other thing. This is way better than I expected. I just mentally thought there was going to be zero room back here. Better than I thought.
Yeah, same.
All right, Brian, to the front, and of course the theme continues. Nice padded door sill. Door pull is padded really well, and nothing feels cheap or too vinyl-y. I like that a lot. Plenty of room for a bottle holder down there. Let's get in past the Range Rover door sill, and we sit in here, and Brian, there's this thing called minimalism.
Oh, yeah.
And it's here, buddy. It is all over this car.
Where'd the buttons go?
We get cup holders.
Yep.
That's all you get. You get a shifter and gobs of real estate with nothing.
Well,
nothing.
That's where buttons can go.
Buttons could go here.
Right.
They could go here. They could go here. They could go underneath here, maybe. You open this up and you get a wireless Qi charging, which does work. Fair. And you get a USB-C port to plug in directly if you'd like. And then a cubby for your fidget holder. Or a fidget spinner. I'll say this, I do love the infotainment on Land Rover now. It actually works quite well. In fact, I like the native stuff better than the CarPlay. It's a little bit of an argument for us, but
I'll chime in on that real quick. I don't like this setup because in CarPlay function, it disconnects about 4 times a day. But I take your point. If you stay native, it does work well. Once you learn how it works, it's pretty good.
Fair enough. More on this in a second. We're going to come back to this because I want to show you all the gauges first. Let's start this puppy up and see what we've got. Minimalist theme, but corporate theme because we get the nice gauge cluster that you get in all the Land Rover products or Range Rover products these days. We're going to clear that door being open. I like how you can cycle through the display layouts, and you can do this in a lot of the same segment. You can do, Audis do this, I know as well. If you want to get your map here, that way you can do something different down here. That's kind of convenient, and all that's fun stuff. Brian, we move on down to the, I want to talk about the vents because Land Rover does this. The Defender vents are in a position you think would not hit your face anywhere or your body, and they hit you perfect.
Yep.
These are the same thing. They hit you perfect. I don't know how they do it.
It's kind of magical because it looks like they're behind something.
Yeah.
You know,
right.
Like there's an object in front of the vent. It looks like this. It's fine. It's
all right, Brian. Would you turn the volume down for me real quick?
Well,
just turn the knob. Just the knob. Just turn the volume knob.
Is it a?
Oh, yeah. This is the problem. There's not a volume knob in here because of minimalism. So what you have to do, it's okay. They have a solution. This is the actual volume knob, and it does work. So you can just do that, and your volume goes up and down. Or you can come over here and hit this button and actually hold it, and that'll do that. That does work, yeah.
I got a rant loading.
Yeah. Ready, go.
Yeah, if you're going to do a thing on the screen, don't hit a button to then go find the scroll for it to work. Also, if it's going to have a knob on the wheel, give me a freaking knob that works quickly on the scroll. Put a knob on the screen.
The same thing happens with HVAC control, Brian, but I did learn after some time with it, I can hit it and hold it, and that was kind of nice, very convenient. I do like that. That does work, but still just a knob would be better. But enough of all that ranting. Let's see if this thing's actually dynamic in 0 to 60 times. All right, Brian, we're in the 2025 Land Rover Dynamic Evoque, which means it should be fast, right?
Dynamic sounds fast to me.
What modes are we trying?
Well, we've got it in comfort mode because it's that eco or auto terrain response, which is auto for off-roading.
Right.
There is no sport mode in here, which I find really frustrating, except for the transmission itself.
Okay.
It is a GF9 speed, but we have 246 horsepower, 295 torque, should be a bit of a ripper.
Let's go, hit it.
Building some boost. There we go.
Oh.
First gear's long, man.
Yeah.
The 1-2 shift is at 41 miles an hour. The 2-3 is at 64 miles an hour. All right, what do you got?
How much power do they make?
246, 295.
Well, with me in the car, it's 8.73, and that is not great.
Okay, well, the best number I got with you out of the car was 8.41.
Oh, wow.
I'm just going to put it out there, Craig. For $61,000 for something in this segment that looks this good, that is slow.
That is slow.
That is objectively slow for what that power number is.
Right.
So that's
because
what I'm trying to
it
get
should be. We know it can be faster.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's saving itself for
some reason.
Very un-Land Rover characteristic because
it's a bit Toyota of it, isn't it?
But maybe that's a good thing. So
yeah,
I don't know.
maybe. Well, but for example, the Defender that is a rear-wheel drive based chassis with an 8-speed ZF, and this motor with 2 more cylinders, rips.
True.
And it's faster than that, and it's a school bus.
Right.
So I'm a little disappointed in that. That's a result here, I guess. Yeah. For something that is this posh, when you literally invented the term posh in the automotive space, is this car, it should have some go behind it. I think it's a bit of a letdown.
It is surprising that you would think it has more like the QX55, whatever we had last.
Right, yeah, QX55, which is also a CVT.
Right.
It did better than that.
It did better than that.
Yeah.
So, you know, for comparison.
It's also 2-liter turbo. So
right.
Okay.
But, okay, that out of the way, though, Brian, you get all the Land Rover goodness. You get the heated windshield, you get the poshness, quote unquote, like you're talking about. It rides good, even though it doesn't have air suspension. It's super quiet. This is a unstressful car. It's not stressful, it's quiet.
Well,
you're just kind of...
You nailed it.
Yeah.
That's the saving grace of this car. Is we were on a coarse county road, which is what we talk about a lot about road noise in our area. This is quiet.
Yeah.
This is very, very quiet.
Very,
and that's where, like, I was joking about Ford Maverick earlier because they share some remote lineage. Maverick's not that quiet.
Right. No.
You know what I mean?
Not at all.
And like most things aren't this quiet. Wind noise is like almost non-existent, and you do get a good stereo in here. It bumps, even though you can't find a volume knob.
No, it's very clear. Yeah.
The biggest downside on the interior to me, which I didn't mention earlier, is there's no ventilated seating option, or at least this one doesn't have it. Whereas it's competition, which I want to get into now, which I think is the problem for this, like the nail in the coffin for this being a volume seller, is the Japan competition and Korea competition.
Yes.
So CX-5.
Yes.
Loaded out with a 2.5-liter turbo is like 45 grand and change.
Right.
$15,000 less. I mean, that's with every single option.
Yep.
And it's 0 to 60 in the 6s.
Right.
And we don't love that powertrain for its personality, but it gets the job done.
Right.
And it has ventilated seats. The next biggest one, and I think this is actually the biggest problem, the GV70.
Yes.
That thing has no right to be as good as it does. That's one statement. It costs $42,000, is more comfortable, gets, I think, some more mileage. This might get better mileage, actually. Because what'd you get in mileage?
I did get up to 31, 32 miles a gallon.
Oh, that's
long, sustained highway speeds. Texas highway speeds of 75 miles an hour. So.
That's pretty good, actually.
Yeah, that's pretty good.
Okay. Yeah. Well, maybe there's a silver lining that I didn't consider. But in terms of performance, this is kind of a letdown. In terms of packaging, I'm a big person. So this obviously isn't my natural segment, but there are cars in this segment that fit me very, very well. This kind of is, I'm in the front row and I'm brushing the roof. That's kind of it. Other than that, it's a looker, and it's very quiet and it's very expensive. So it captures a lot of the Range Rover stuff.
And Brian, I don't know if I'm going to do this analogy right. I may mess this one up, but to me, this is the car equivalent of purses in branding. Okay, and
don't cancel us.
There's a bunch of rakes I'm probably getting ready to step on, but look. Out there in the purse world, it's Dooney and Burke, Gucci, whatever. You can see it on the side of the bag, so you know everybody knows what you got.
I see what you're doing here.
But then there's like the off-brand or non-branded that, do you even know what kind of bag that is? They both do the same thing. They both hold your stuff, and they both look about the same size.
Well, and the other bag might be hold things just as well as the other bag.
Right.
It's a Gucci.
But Brian, your Genesis is not Gucci or Dooney and Burke. The Range Rover is, and that's a thing, and people care about that. And this does check that box. And if you're in the BMW, Audi, European luxury world, there's a reason this is still out there, and it does have the styling over the BMW and the Audi. I will say that.
It sure does. So at the end of the day, it's all Gucci, man. Thanks for watching. We'll see you on the next one.